Hmm. How how do you come up with a name for your company? Oh, it's tricky. Coming up with a company name, it needs to reflect what you do. Maybe sometimes yes, sometimes no, not necessarily. It definitely needs to be memorable, and it helps then if it's shorter names, one or maybe two words are the best for easily remembered names of companies. It needs to be easy to spell, or you're just making a rod for your own back because you'll end up spelling it out to everybody, or they're trying to type in your website address and they're misspelling it and going to someone else's company. So easy to say, easy to spell, much more easy for you in the long run. And speaking of website addresses, is it available? That's the worst bit of everything, because you come up with these brilliant, great names and they're all taken. Oh, it's crazy. Should you use your own name in the business name? It depends. Are you happy to be at the center of your business? Are you happy to build the whole company essentially around you? It might be that makes your company seem smaller, or it might be that actually that invokes great trust because you are well known, well respected in your industry. So there's a few fors and against using your own name, so definitely give it some thought. The most important part, I would think, about naming your company is to keep it simple. Think Nike, think Apple, think LogoLady. Nice and simple, easy to remember, nothing too long, nothing too complicated. Something that trips off the tongue is great, which means alliteration. That's great to use for company names. Think Coca-Cola, think PayPal, think Dunkin' Donuts, think Costa Coffee. They're all such great sound bites, aren't they? I'm not a massive fan of acronyms, but having said that, there are some pretty huge ones out there. I'm thinking about AXA, I'm thinking about IBM, I'm thinking about BBC. They don't get much bigger than BBC, but in terms of JR Electrical or PB Plumbing, not really, not so easy to remember and a bit boring. Sorry, PB Plumbing, if you exist. You could invent a word, potentially. What about that? Think Google, think Groupon, think Accenture, think IKEA, think Sony. All of these guys invented their own word to use as a name. Or you might want to change a spelling of an existing word, like Netflix, using the X, or Reddit, or Xero with the X, or Fiverr, double R. Hate to mention Fiverr, but there you go. And also to consider is the future proof of your name. Is it going to represent you in the future? For example, if Amazon had started out as the online bookstore, which is what essentially they were back then, they would have struggled to grow. But Jeff Bezos had the foresight to think bigger, longer, more in the future, and to pick a name that would easily grow and redefine as it went along with the company. So Amazon was so much better for him, for that business. And yeah, think about that too. If you're a gardener this week and actually you want to be more landscaping services next week, then it's worth considering. Once you've considered all these things, grab yourself a piece of paper and a pencil and just throw all the ideas down, as many as you can get down in one session, because the next part is when you filter. So the next part is when you chuck out the ideas that are not so great and build upon the ones that are great and could work better. So think about all the things I've told you, and if you need some more help, you can always do my course. There's tips and more tips in my how to design a logo course, including module 5, which is how to name your company. So check that out and hope that helps. I'll see you next week.